Welcome. I'm Diane Yellowlight, a certified psyche. Ladies and gentlemen, here I am with another segment of New Rules. Those new rules are now, we're going to talk about today ego and letting it go. The ego is the part that carries our insecurities, our doubts, our fears, our unworthiness, anything that allows us to come from the root of fear. Fear is natural when we have something that can threaten our lives. But to be in fear that you're not loved, that somebody's cheating on you, that somebody's lying to you, that somebody just isn't giving to you, that doesn't come from confidence. That comes from not allowing the other person to be who they are and you not feeling secure enough within yourself as to not get caught up into those possibilities. We spend way too much time worrying about the ego of another person and not working on the ego of ourselves. Mind you, we need ego in order to produce and think and create. But ego has to come from the heart. It has to come from love. And there's a lot of people today, ladies and gentlemen, that have closed hearts and live in total ego. And ego leads to what I possess, what I own, what I don't own. A lot in this economy with the crashes that we've gone through, especially in the male aspect at this time frame, the gentleman, because you based your life on all about what you produce, how you produce financially, because that's what you were taught. Well, that's not all that's there anymore. You're not just money, and you're just not a way to money. You may think you are, and it does give you a false sense of power because we all got caught up in being treated and pampered way over beyond what is necessary. Really, do we need 5 TVs in a TV home? No. Do we need 5 cars in the driveway? No. Do we need 5 rooms filled with furniture when we live in one? Not really. The reason that we have all of this is because we got overly grandiose and overly excited. We came out of an era that was poor to an era that became very, very rich for the middle class. But the middle class wasn't ready for all of that. And in the beginning, those, because they came out of poor, they respected it. But then when the next generations got born, they didn't respect it because it was already there. What did they to survive? How many people have not had food on their table? How many people didn't have a job until now? How many people are facing what they faced in the early 30s? We're facing it right now. Of course we are. But we also have a system that isn't going to let us fall flat on our faces. But we are really in debt. And of course, money is the root of it. So money's going to go out and we won't have money someday. We'll have a whole system set up differently. Doesn't really matter. What matters is how you walk through this. So gentlemen, men, you lose your jobs, you lose your confidence, you lose who you are. Ladies, women, when you've been out there working and you got to go home and you have to do all the things you did before, you're losing yourself. Now, why don't we change roles for a little while and share the whole deal in life? Let's share from getting up in the morning to going to bed at night. Let's share with taking and having respect for our homes that are being taken away from us because we got grandiose. Don't you get it that as the United States middle class was sleeping, letting other people take care of them, they got duped. And so now be responsible. So you got duped. It was a process, but you can come out of it. And the only way you're going to come out of it is if we learn to co-create together. The government has their own deal, and I'm going to do a video on that. But right now, we're talking about individuals because it is the individual families and units that's going to rebuild this nation if we quit wallowing in our pity of negativity, anger, frustration, all the things that go with it. I don't care attitude. I'm going to take from you, blah, 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 blah. That's not the heart. That's not the soul. So if you want to come back to your authentic self and you want to come back to some of those good roots that you were given to be self-sufficient, then be it. Don't take things for granted. And then as we take things for granted, it is going to be taken away from us. That is the law of divinity, universal force energy. We are to find balance and respect. And when we lose all of that, it's gone. It's gone. And then we have to rebuild. So the good thing is we're rebuilding. The next thing is we have to work together. And we've got to get rid of the nasty ego that makes us destroy each other, destroy relationships, destroy our jobs, destroy our country, destroy our neighborhoods. When is the last time you knew your neighbors? What is wrong with knowing the 10 houses that are around you, at least? What's wrong with doing that? Nobody wants to face other people because there's overstress. But you know what? When neighbors can sit down and chit chat with each other, they forget about the world for the moment. Or maybe they may be complaining about the world, but there's a bonding. We have lost our bonding. And that's what I am going to talk about, this rule, bonding. How are you bonding? Are you bonding to electronics? I don't think that's so cool. Are you bonding to devices? I don't think that's so cool. Are you bonding to activities that are just watching or just supporting so that you can feel and get out of your moment? That's not so good. And a lot of times what we're doing is bonding separately in those things. Now, if you're going to co-create and bond in those aspects, then bond together. But remember, if you're going to bond in anything that is going to alter yourself in any way, shape, or form, then you're going to end up having holes in your id and holes in your etheric body that's around you. And this allows the negativity to flow in and flourish the heart, the soul, and create the ego to become hard. And a lot of times we have to learn lessons the hard way, but not all the time. We don't have to keep creating that day after day. My goodness, the stress factor that's in our psyches at this time frame is incredible. And again, we're using all the wrong devices to make ourselves feel better. All the fast food places. Sure, you're tired. Who wants to cook? But you're eating garbage. That's going to catch up with you, because the body needs real live food. You got to give it at least 50%. But who cares? Because the medical profession will give you a pill. Oh yeah, then you become addicted to the pill and it has at least 20 side effects. And then after a period of time, it destroys the kidney, the liver, and blah, 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 blah. So why not do it healthy wise? Why not start eating live? Why not start doing exercise? Why not start walking with your neighbors, walking with your family members, going to the park, throwing a ball, doing things that is going to bring you some activity, stress-free, release? It doesn't matter, but quit doing it isolated. We don't even want to talk to each other. We want to text. You don't get emotions in text by little exclamation marks or happy signs. You get it from the inflection, the voice, and what somebody is saying to you. And that sound in the voice resonates in your heart and your soul and helps you to feel belonging. We're not mechanical robots, or we'd get along in that world very well. So I'm asking each and every one of you to go above and beyond your circumstances and drop that hard-hearted ego. It doesn't matter if daddy was a dupe and mama was a this and a sister was that and a brother was that and auntie was this and teacher was that or whatever. That's in the past. Get past that. Heal it. And you heal it by loving yourself, knowing you walk through it, but let it go, because it's not you today. It was you when you went through it. You're carrying that line all the way up through your life. And unfortunately, when we're in ego in the wrong way, we want somebody else to fix it. We want somebody else to pay the price. We want somebody else to feel bad because we feel bad. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You don't need to live in that kind of world, and if you choose to do so, that's your choice. However, it's never going to be a happy one. It's never going to be a fulfilled one. And we tick-tock this little time clock like we got forever and ever and ever, and it doesn't matter what age we are. You don't have forever. You only have so much energy in that body, and when you use it up and abuse it early in your life, you're not going to see healthy at 30. You're not going to see healthy at 40. So how do you want to live the rest of your life? Miserable? Or do you want to be happy and live with peace and live with co-creation and live clean, knowing that you gave, you took some, but you gave, you created, you left something of a legacy that helps to resolve the souls of the future. We've got a lot of beautiful children in our world that are going to be responsible for changing the way our world is. They already know what they're going to do in their own psychic and DNA, but they also need the nurturing of the home at this time frame in order to have that base. Let's go back to nurturing each other and not being afraid that we're going to get ripped off or hurt or left or abandoned or lied to or whatever it is. Because at that moment, what you're getting, if you're getting nurturing at that moment, you're getting nurturing. And this bit of wanting it forever and ever and ever and ever, yeah, that's normal. But when the other person or persons in families and units aren't there to give it to you, that's when you pick up your own chip and you give it to yourself. And then when the family joins you back, then you get it from them. So you have a little from them and a little from you. Is co-creating, balancing. It must start today. There is no more time. There is no more games. Everybody is burnt out beyond belief. And the only way that you're going to renew yourself, and it's really amazing about the psychic and the body and the mental, it responds quickly when you put love into self and quit worrying about who can love you or who you need to love and fix because, whoa, they're so bad. And let me tell you something, women, ladies, quit enabling people in your life to be messed up. We do that. We do that. We don't mean to do that, but we do that. And men, quit avoiding and putting down and making little of whatever is the need of a person standing in front of you. At least have compassion to hear and to say you can understand where they're at, even though you're not there yourself. Stop the insanity of being so hoity-toity and ego. And women, stop being so ego and hoity-toity that you need to fix everything. The only thing you need to fix is yourself, men, gentlemen, ladies, women, self, and then co-create helping each other. Drop the insanity of the ego before it makes you so cold and so empty that you don't even know where your heart and soul is anymore. Because as we go through more stages of fear in this world, if you're not secure in that area, all these other devices you have around you, when they're going to be ripped away from you, go without electricity for a little period of time and see what happens. Go out without heat during the winter and see what happens. Go without a little extra food and see what happens. And God forbid, let's hope we never go without water, because then we are done as a race, because we cannot live without water. But we certainly can tuck in, reduce the size of our ego, reduce the size of all the entities and things we have in our life, reduce it to the point where we use and appreciate everything that's in it. When things need to replace, then replace them. We don't have to be the great consumers and give these corporations big bucks in order to keep going and get insane about how many cell phones. Did you ever study up on how many cell phones are thrown away a day? How many cell phones Japan has bought from us? How many? Whoa, it's ridiculous. It's more than we have people on the whole earth. It's ridiculous. So let's quit being ridiculous and start getting sensible. Chop down that ego and build it in the right way. You need an ego because an ego says I'm okay with myself. But when an ego goes out there and says I'm okay with myself when I destroy another, then that is not healthy. And believe me, Everybody lives in denial of that one. Men, you are the worst of all, living in denial of being the good guy, not really destroying anything. And women, ladies, you live in the whole fact of the fact is that they're going to destroy everything. So when you write the script before somebody and you keep giving it to them in their faces, then they're going to somewhere along around says, who cares? And they're going to act it out. So you see, we're all in this together, and we are co-creating in all the ways that are self-destructive. So I'm asking you to drop that silly ego in the wrong way, build up the ego of love and health and heart and soul, and start doing that dance. Drop the dance of insanity of self-destruction immediately. It's not the wars we go to, it's the wars we have within ourselves and those that are in our own families and our units. It is the family that built the unit of this society. Let's go back and rebuild it for the new ones, our new children, and their new world, so that they can co-create in a different and better way than we did. We went down, we came up, we went down, and now we're going back up again. And you can be a significant part in making a difference in that. And if there's any amends that need to be done, this is how it's going to be done. And we all need to make amends because we have hurt and destroyed ourselves beyond and others as well, more than we want to realize. Gentlemen, males, ladies, females, none of us is not away from that. It's all into the matter of degrees. But it doesn't matter the degrees, because if you're doing it, you're doing it. Period. So I know each and every one of you can go above and beyond your circumstances, and I really ask that you do this starting today for all of us to co-create and move forward. And I'm going to be doing more videos to throw things out there, because this is a time of honesty and dedication, hard work in the right way, so we can get our heart and souls back. And until next time, I send you love, light, and happiness as you go through this process. You can do it. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.